Oh, hello, this is Tak Chung from Walk with Tak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. Please feel free to write me at walkwithtak@gmail.com if you have any questions regarding this video or any other videos that I have posted in the past. If you have any videos that you would like me to make, please let me know. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Jim loves steak. In fact, he used to eat steak at least once or even twice a week. However, after he has his health problem, his doctor told him that he must refrain from eating red meat. Furthermore, he needs to switch a diet that's rich in vegetables. And that turned out to be really challenging for Jim. But until he found out about the fast cooking system, he discovered that he can actually use red meat, in this case use steak, to serve as a condiment rather than as the main ingredients. And the end result is that he enjoys his vegetable far more now. And at the same time, he's able to get his steak fix. And he is very happy. Now in this video, I want to show you how Jim cook a dish that using the beef mainly as a condiment and to go with a vegetable dish. This beef dish actually has 6 different kinds of vegetables. It has mushroom, broccoli, green beans, yellow squash, purple cabbage, and scallions. It also has beef in it. You just cannot see it right now. Once I cook it, you will be able to see how it fit in. The cut that I use in this dish is a top sirloin steak. It's not the best cut, but it is the cut that is excellent for stir frying, and the price is quite reasonable. I cut the steak thinly, and this will allow it to cook very quickly, and usually to take only about a minute or so for it to cook. Now I have quite a bit of steak, which is about 1 pound. But in order to use as a condiment, I'm going to separate them and put them in plastic bag. And I store them in about 4 to 5 ounces portions. Now this is just about right to use it as a condiment. And actually Jim finds that is to be quite appropriate for what he'd like to have. The Ziploc sandwich actually is perfect for this storage purpose. Next is that I'm going to press all the air out of the bag, and then I'm going to flatten the bag as much as possible. This will allow me to thaw them out very rapidly when I need them, and it usually takes only about somewhere between 5 to 10 minutes to thaw out in a bowl of lukewarm water. So this way I can have steak anytime I want. I place the label on the top flat of the sandwich bag, and then I store them in a straight up position after they have been frozen. This will allow me to find them easily. In fact, I have all my meat stored in this particular manner, and in here I have a chicken stored right next to it. After the beef has been thawed, I coat them with a thin layer of cornstarch. And here you can see the amount of beef that I'm actually going to use in this dish. It's not very much at all. The cornstarch will help protect the beef from the heat, and actually it will keep the beef from overcooked. In fact, it will help it to stay moist and tender. So okay, I'm now ready to cook this dish. I'm going to cook this dish in my Cuisinart 14-inch stainless steel wok. I'm going to start out about 2 tablespoons of canola oil. You can use any cooking oil that you would like as long as it has a high smoking point. Now, it is important to season your wok with the spot seasoning method because the beef will have a tendency to stick and burn to the surface of the wok. Even if you season it, it still will stick, and I'll explain to you a bit later. So I'm going to heat up the wok as hot as possible. I heat up the wok until it starts to smoke gently, and I let it to smoke for another 15 seconds. Now I am ready to cook. Now, the purpose of heating up the wok as hot as possible because steak would taste best if you're able to sear the surface of the steak. I use a pair of tongs to add the steak to the wok, and in fact what I try to do is that use the tongue to separate them as much as possible. This will allow me to lay the steak on the surface of the wok. That would be the best way for me to sear them. A steak is probably one of the most challenging protein to cook because steak plays a very important role in terms of their doneness. You do not want them to be overcooked. Like as you can see here, now the steak is only about 50% cooked because the other side of the steak is still red. I add some portobello mushroom directly to the surface of the steak, and then now I switch the wok spatula to stir fry them. The reason to add the mushroom at this point is very important, because once you add the mushroom, it will control the temperature of the oil, because the mushroom will reduce the temperature, and this will slow down the steak from cooking. You notice that one side of the steak has sear, but the other side of the steak, which I have not turned over to cook, are still relatively red. So right now, the doneness of the steak is probably about medium rare. So it depends on how well you want to cook the steak. You now should start to make adjustment accordingly. The next thing I do is that I some scallion. Again, the scallion will add flavor to the dish, but at the same time, it will also serve to control the temperature. And this followed by adding about 1 tablespoon of oyster sauce. Of all the sauces that I have tested in the past, oyster sauce probably gives the best flavor. And you can add more oyster sauce or less using the flavor chasing method. It's all going to depend on how much you want the level of saltiness of this steak. Okay, now the dish is done. So I'm going to remove the mushroom and the steak from the wok, and I'm going to set it aside. Because next I'm going to cook the vegetable separately. The reason of cooking them separately, which I call it combinatorial cooking, is this will allow you to control the texture of the ingredients, since steak only need very small amount of time to cook, whereas the vegetable needs longer time to cook. So it's important to keep them separate. This way, you will not either overcook the steak, undercook the vegetable, and in both cases, the ingredients can cook to the exact texture that you want. And for this vegetable dish, I'm going to use 4 different kinds of vegetables. I'm going to start out with some broccoli, green bean, purple cabbage, and this is followed by some addition of yellow squash. Now, I can add different vegetables at different time frame simply because some vegetables that I like to cook longer. This dish will provide excellent source of vegetables. And after I cook the vegetable to the doneness that I want, and then I combine the beef and the mushroom to this dish. At this point, I turn off the heat because the dish is essentially done. So by a few quick mix, the dish is ready to serve. Again, this is a demonstration of what I call combinatorial cooking. And because the beef and mushroom only require very short time to cook, so I cook them separately. On the other hand, the vegetable require a little bit longer time to cook. So I also cook them separately. So this way, I can control the texture of both type of ingredients. I can cook the mushroom and the beef to exact texture that I want, whereas the vegetable require a little bit longer time to cook. For Jim, this is a perfect dish, because through this dish, he can still have the steak that he enjoy. And the steak he cook, he could able to cook it to exact texture that he wants, up to a texture of medium rare. Whereas the vegetable, he's able to cook them in a way also to the texture that he desire. So when he combine together, he has a complete dish that has beef and 6 different kinds of vegetables. It is definitely make the dish taste much better to the texture, to the flavor that he wants. But more importantly is that it allow him to enjoy beef as well. This dish turned out to be a good example of a type of diet known as flexitarian diet. Now, flexitarian diet is similar to a vegetarian diet, except the person who have the flexitarian diet are able to eat a small amount of meat. Now, in this case, the meat is used as a condiment rather than as a main ingredient. So the main consumption in this dish is still vegetables, but it provides a flavor of meat, make the dish far more interesting. So this is the type of approach you can take if you still want to include meat in your diet. And this flexitarian diet provide an excellent opportunity to have the best of both worlds. I post a video each day to help you to make home cooking as part of your daily routine so that it can be a viable alternative to fast and ultra-processed food using my fast cooking system. With this cooking system, you will make home cooking practical, efficient, creative, and fun. If you'd like to learn more about this cooking system, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. So keep on cooking. I will see you tomorrow.